Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Thanks for joining me here today. All right, guys, so we've got Bitcoin sitting right up here just under $9,700 waiting to do something. It looks like a majority of the market is, at least the larger coins, are just kind of biding their time, waiting for something to happen, and Bitcoin is not, not out of that mess at all. Looking at a Bitfinex chart here because I'm looking at TradingView today, so this is not my traditional Coinbase or GDAX chart. Reason being, just because I wanted to do this today instead of clicking at tabs randomly. So anyways, what we have here is daily chart of Bitcoin. We have volume right here. We have some moving averages. Let's kind of go through this thing. So Bitcoin currently living under this purple 200-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average, and we now have the 50-day moving average curling up. All right, we'll see if that will last and will be maintained. Volume has subsequently been really drying up to the point where volume hasn't been this light in a long time. 35,000 shares on average volume over the course of the previous 20 trading days, and we really haven't seen 35,000 for quite some time. Let me see here. There's one day. There's like one day over here. I think it's this day. That's 47,000. So still don't have 35,000. Going back all the way. Last time I found it was in November. It looks like it's even on GDAX. It's in November. On Bitfinex, it's even before November. So volume has actually dried up to a very, very low level. You can see on my chart. You see my dotted line right there going all the way across, all the way back to that little low in early October, actually, when we've actually seen volume at this level. What this usually means is that there's been a lot of participation leaving the market, and we know this is what happens during bear markets. We've been discussing this on the channel for quite some time, and people are gone, folks. People are gone. You look at Google Trends. We're sitting down at those low levels, not really making any headway, which leaves a lot of people to wonder, can Bitcoin really rally? Well, Bitcoin can rally. It can rally on these lower volume levels, and we're seeing it rally on these lower volume levels. I think we have to get used to lower volume. We've been used to this high volume. I think we have to get used to this volume over here, to be quite frank with you. So even that being said, these most recent runs off the low, like this candle right here. So let's do this. There we go. This candle right here, you can obviously see the volume here is tremendous, and the next biggest volume is this large sell candle. So that's a little scary, and the subsequent action has been a little weak on volume, even comparison for just this area. Taking out all of this stuff, because like I said, volume's been declining in Bitcoin, and so we're gonna have to get used to this new lower declining. In the same way, be honest with you, in the same way we were used to higher volume here and maintaining said higher volume, but having lower volume, we have to get used to this. Don't think this is necessarily a low volume day, even though it looks like it comparatively to even these moves. Like this is, what is that, 36,000 shares? This is 73, so that's like half. That's half the amount of volume on this than this middle day on the move right here. So, but either way, it still is volume. It still looks good comparative. And the sell volume has really subsided ever since this pop, and the buy volume is really taken over. Above the 50-day, below the 200-day. If we dive down a little deeper, let's go to the 6-hour. I don't get a 6-hour on here. Sorry, guys. Didn't realize that TradingView didn't have 6 hours. And I click on 4 hours anyways. All right, so you can see this handle Bitcoin's trying to put in right here. There's actually a cup with a handle. This is what a cup with handle looks like. Declining volume in the handle. Very good here. This pattern looks good, looks bullish, looks like it probably will burst out to the upside. However, you never buy a chart pattern willy-nilly like that. You actually take your time and wait for it to break out. You can even set a buy stop at the breakout point. In this case, it's at about, at least on Bitfinex here, it's about 98.55. If you're on GDAX, it's about 9,800. So that's kind of the area for Bitcoin that we're looking at. Even on this 2-hour time frame, you can see this 50-period moving average in the aqua here. It's been respected ever since this entire move up. Just been respected. Even the 200-period moving average, we broke it back here, and we're curling upwards, similar to the 50-day on the daily chart. So there's quite a bit of strength here in Bitcoin, and I think all that is to be respected. Now, looking on to a couple other altcoins, we have Ethereum, which looks like it's extended, but it does have some room to run. Here's a larger base. Here's kind of its second base out of this low-level consolidation. Its first major base. This was actually more of a pause. This is a more conventional base, if I do say so myself. So the depth in this base, about 16%. That's pretty good for what's considered a flat base, and a good breakout of that flat base here. A little pause, but it probably and more likely will continue. I don't have any specific targets in mind, but the 1,000 number is always a big round number. We'll see if we can get up that far. We're already at $789, almost $900. So getting up that far really wouldn't take an act of Congress. It's only about 23% higher. Volume here is healthy, however. We talked about Bitcoin with lower volume, Ethereum showing the opposite. We can see the low volume situation here, and then subsequently we've had a little bit, there's been an increasing of volume on each of these. You can see these orange lines here. That's the average volume line. Those have actually been increasing a little bit on the way up, so that's good. People coming back into Ethereum. XRP looks like it needs a little more time to play out, even though volume is looking pretty good on the right side of the chart here. We can see the volume previously on the run up into the ultimate highs of way too much, and then now we can see here this volume looking healthy, not looking, this would be kind of bad volume if it was running up like that, but we're getting good volume spikes. We have one here which looks like a sell candle actually. This particular candle is a little bit of a sell candle, not much. Ripple's looking okay, but it does need some more time to consolidate. Bitcoin Cash looks like it's next up to the races. It's been forming kind of a flag in consolidation with Bitcoin. Here's almost the exact same pattern. Your cup, your handle, although this handle is forming up, leaning upwards. Typically not such a bullish thing, but you can see there's a little bit of goodness here. Good volume here on this up thrust. I would have liked Bitcoin to have this kind of volume on this up day. However, it did not. It looks like Bitcoin Cash does instead for right now. And then subsequently, we've had a little bit of selling up here, but that's to be expected as we get up here towards the highs. This did have a 100% run off of these lows here from the 787 level, topping out over 1560. So, wow, tremendous run in Bitcoin Cash. Looks like it maybe do some extra, but I definitely would have some stops in place here. Bitcoin Cash can play a little bit of trickery. If you're not involved with it, definitely keep your eye on it. If you are involved with it, I'd probably put my stop down at like the 1430 level, something like that. It gives you about a 6% range from this moment in time. But volume drying up quite nicely. You can see the previous two candles not doing a whole lot, and that's good up at these levels. That shows you that sellers have started subsiding, and more than likely it's going to pop up. But again, don't rush into these. You can't buy before the breakout. You have to buy when it's breaking out, or have a buy stop in place. And in Bitcoin Cash here, you're looking at about 1564 for a potential buy stop. Now, next up on the list here is EOS. EOS is basing. There's EOS USD. Here's EOS Bitcoin. I have them both up here on this particular one. And not too many differences. You can see EOS Bitcoin has a more well-defined cup with handle down here. If you go to EOS USD, it's more of a flat base type of a situation, and then just a little triangle consolidation. But either way, what we have here in EOS is a level of support right here at the 1620 level. Right here at the 1620 level. If it can maintain this 1620 level, EOS may make another leg higher or two. The volume here isn't looking too bad. It's a very nicely declining volume signature, so that's looking good. We're holding above this trend line. If we get below this trend line, then flip that situation on its head. EOS is probably headed lower, and you'll have a much deeper consolidation. I don't have any particular levels, but usually the prior bases are levels where things could get interesting, so $12 possibly. But I really wouldn't be buying here and holding through a drop of this trend line here. Like I said, this trend line is at 1620. All right, so Litecoin looks like it's up next as well. Hey, it just went. Litecoin just went. Wow. As I was preparing for this video, let me go down to the 2-hour chart. Litecoin just popped. That's news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news here first. I was going to say up next. No, it just went. Litecoin's been having good volume, at least on my 2-hour charts here lately. Some good volume on this up thrust. Very nice consolidation. We'll see if Bitcoin and some of the other coins will move in concert with Litecoin. But Litecoin has been a little stagnant in this most recent area, so nice to see it getting some movement. But looks like it's up, not up next. It's just straight up. And then I'm going to look at ADA and Dash next. I thought Dash was interesting. Let's take a look at ADA. Let's back out a little bit to that 6-hour chart again. ADA is stair-stepping its way higher. All right, right now we're in a lowish level of consolidation. If you look closely and pay attention, there is a rising channel situation happening here. Not necessarily such a bad rising channel. It's not very aggressive, and the volume in it is looking good. And this could easily turn into, from a rising channel situation, into a more constructive basing situation, quite simply. And being down here towards the channel levels is kind of healthy for ADA. I did take a small position a little bit lower here towards the bottom of the channel. My stop is the channel line itself, and we'll wait and see how that one plays out. But ADA looks like it's stair-stepping its way higher. And then the last one I wanted to look at was Dash. That's the only other one interesting. Some of the other altcoins don't really look super interesting. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right chart there. So as we see Dash here, if we zoom out on the 6-hour chart, we can really see Dash putting in a nice high-level flag consolidation. It's kind of similar to what Bitcoin's doing, but a little bit weaker to the upside. But don't lose sight of Dash. This is one of those coins that will bore you into riches. It's done so in the past. You can see here it just kind of moves up. Believe me, I was trading this back then. A lot of people really got bored with Dash, but it did slowly move its way higher and did slowly give you several 100% gains. So don't lose sight of Dash. It is looking good here, and you know, just keep it on your radar. That's basically about it. But going back to Bitcoin, like we just saw Litecoin moving, so that was pretty cool. Litecoin just moving up 167 right now. When I started my video here, like if I go down to 15-minute, oh, it looks like it moved just before I made the video when I was getting ready. Cool, very nice on Dash there. But hopefully Bitcoin and Ethereum can get going as well. If you guys are wondering if I'm still neutral on my overall market position, I still am neutral until we breach that 12,000 level. I really can't definitively say we're out of a bear market. If I do that, I'm just going to try to sound smart, and I don't think that's fair of me. Number one, I don't want to sound smart. I really do think that the market could roll over. It seems more and more unlikely with every day, though. More and more things are breaking out. Bitcoin, instead of breaking down here, decided to go sideways and break up. Look at that big volume down candle. It negated it, said, I don't want that, and just went higher. So you have to go with the market, guys. And here we have a bull flag in Bitcoin. Oh, one last thing that I didn't mention. This symmetrical triangle that Bitcoin's kind of been forming in this lower level, this larger triangle, we're consolidating. Remember, we talked about it in the Naked Bitcoin video. I think we were over here, and we were pointing out this triangle, and I said maybe we go sideways and form a base. Well, this has turned into a cup with a handle, that exact same situation. So all the light volume that we've been into over here, that may change as we move over this symmetrical triangle. I think there's probably more people looking at this than you think, and I think it's probably going to be healthy for Bitcoin. So it may take the bear right out of Bitcoin. Who knows? We're probably going to go completely bullish without, you know, fireworks going off. It's kind of a gradual thing this time around. Apparently, maybe we don't get capitulation. I know it sucks, but it is what it is, guys. We got to move with the markets. As good as our analysis is, as good as it was, every new candle, every new bar in this market, you know, lays another card on the table and changes the odds, and we have to move with it. That's it. No emotion. Move with the charts. Do what it do. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.